everyone, and welcome to episode 54 of the True Crime All the Time podcast. I'm Mike Ferguson, and with me, as always, is my partner in true crime, Mike Gibson. Gibby, what's going on?
Hey, man, what's happening?
Not much. We just had a little Penn Station.
Yeah.
Filled us up, and now we're ready to record.
Maybe there's people across the world going, what's Penn Station? Why are they eating a train station?
Look it up.
Penn Station.
Look it up. There's Google.
Yeah.
Google it.
Got me a little sub in my tummy.
Yep. So we have an announcement that we want to make right up front. So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of True Crime All the Time, and we've never taken a week off, right, Gibbs? We put out an episode every single Sunday.
Well, I haven't. I mean, you take time off all the time, but you're like, here, Gibby, get this edit done.
Oh,
Don't leave the studio until it's complete.
Yeah. Speaking of taking time off, you fell asleep at one point in a previous episode. I don't want to hear nothing.
That's because I'm working hard.
Your eyes got droopy. I was like, Gibbs.
Yeah.
Gibbs. So we made the decision that we're going to take the week of Thanksgiving off. We're not going to put out an episode the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, my gosh.
You knew about this ahead of time.
Oh, that's right. I kind of agreed with him.
You were with me in the planning.
I tried to fight the good fight, but,
So we're going to take that week off, spend Thanksgiving with our family, recharge the batteries, and then come back strong. But we do want to wish everybody a very, very happy Thanksgiving for our listeners in the States. And for those of you in other countries, happy Thursday or whatever other day you may or may not be celebrating. In 2016, California wife and mother Sherry Papini disappeared for 22 days. When she was found, she told authorities a detailed account of being kidnapped and tortured. Years later, in a stunning twist, Papini pled guilty to making false statements about what happened to her, setting off a media firestorm. Now, for the first time, Sherry Papini is telling her side of the story and revealing shocking new information. Sherry Papini, caught in a lie, an ID documentary event, Monday, May 26th at 9 on ID. Set your DVR. All right, Gibbs, you want to get to some Patreon?
Some Patreon.
Or you want to drink some Patron?
Well, I'd rather drink
I was going to say, which one you want?
I like to drink the Patron, then do the Patreon names.
At the same time? Mm-hmm. All right, so we had a lot of new Patreon supporters. It's amazing. We had Jackie, Val, Laura Steventon, Helena Gustafson.
Helena, she's my buddy.
Big on social media.
She is.
Kate Brown, Carly Hatchell, A Wondering Generality.
That just sounds like a kid's show.
Yep, it's cool. Yeah. Latera, Adam Chandler, and Adam actually sent me a message because he wanted to give a huge shout out to Emily Rice and Harriet Davis.
Who?
Emily Rice and Harriet Davis.
See, there you go. I got it out there twice.
He wanted to get it out there twice because the three of them listen to the show. They love it. And he just wanted to make sure that they got a shout out.
Tres Amigos.
Yep. Ginger Lamontagne.
Yeah, good job.
I don't know.
I like Ginger. Ginger, I just like that name.
That's a cool name if I got it right.
Makes me think of, when they're lost on the island.
Gilligan's Island?
That's the one.
We had Todd Collier, Amy Flowers, Paige Summerfield, Karina Michalowski, Donna Rubba,
Hubba Bubba,
Rebecca Marchetti, Jeffrey Bolak, and Elizabeth Roberts. So we had a lot, and that's awesome. A lot of new Patreon supporters. And then we had Susan Nathan support us on PayPal.
Wow, thanks, Susan.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody, all the support. We say it a lot, but now I don't want to leave out our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everybody that's pushing us out there. But if we go back into the Patreon vault, Gibbs, this week I selected Catherine Clark and just want to give her a huge shout out for supporting the show for a long time.
She's been great.
Really means a lot. Got to give a huge shout out to Maggie for her writing and research on the episode.
Maggie May.
And then make sure you check out Unsolved. This week, we're talking about the husbands of Raynella Dossett Leaf. And I'm just going to leave it there. Just Such a fascinating case.
Drop the mic and walk away.
Yep. So the husbands should give a little clue as to what this is about. All right, Gibbs, you ready to get into this episode of True Crime All the Time?
I am psyched.
You are psyched. We are talking about Stephen McDaniel. And Stephen Mark McDaniel was born September 9th, 1985. He grew up outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in a little suburb called Lilburn. You ever heard of that one, Gibbs? I never heard of it.
I've never heard of that either.
And you and I have heard of a lot of places.
I think you're making it up.
I may be. Now, when he was a little kid, and we're talking about like 4 years old, his parents nicknamed him Mr. Clean. And this was because, even at that age, he wanted everything to be very neat, very tidy all the time.
So a little OCD?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've got that.
I don't know if it was diagnosed, but yeah, I know you like things that very orderly.
Yeah.
You don't like things to be messy.
No, not at all.
I don't mind it quite as much.
Well, you're pretty messy.
And some things that his mother would say about Stephen. Number one, he was a people pleaser. He was very protective of his family.
Wow, sounds like me.
Maybe this is you.
It's getting interesting.
But Stephen's life changed when 9/11 happened. Now, a lot of lives changed, right, from the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Stephen was 16 years old at the time, and for whatever reason, the attacks had just this profound impact on him. He was so affected by what happened that he started to, in his mind, feel like he had to be ready in case another attack would happen on U.S. soil. So when I say he was affected by it, he didn't lose anyone. He didn't have anybody that was in, the towers or the Pentagon or that was on the plane that went down. It was just the idea of what happened apparently affected him. Now, it affected a lot of people. I'm not making light of that whatsoever. It affected a lot of people that actually didn't lose anybody.
Right, didn't have a direct connection.
Yeah, it affected us all.
Yeah.
But it affected him in the way where, he almost becomes one of these type of like doomsday preppers.
I don't think he's alone in that, though.
No, I do a little doomsday prepping myself.
A little?
I have a bunker.
There's enough boxes here of food in them. We could eat for 5 years.
Yeah, I have a bunker with some water and some food, and just in case.
Never know.
What is it? Better safe than sorry, right?
It's definitely. I just know where to come if I want fed.
But, so he starts reading up on the internet about this kind of prepping, water supply, making sure he had enough. And then on top of that, what to do in scenarios where, what if the water supply was contaminated through some type of terror act? That's always the one that gets me, Gibbs. When I think about terrorist type of actions,
right?
I always think about like football stadiums, and I think about the water supply. Those are the two that I think scare me the most. You get a football stadium like Michigan, Ohio State.
I was going to say, it depends who's in the stadium, what teams.
Yeah, well, you get one of these big, 100 and some thousand people.
Yeah, it can be some damage, It would almost be like that movie with Ben Affleck when he played that Tom Clancy movie. Yep.
What was it called?
When they had to get that Coke machine out of the Baltimore stadium before it blew up and killed everybody.
Again, what was it called?
Yeah, like Last Chance or
Last Chance. That was the movie. You guys seen it? If you haven't, get on to Netflix.
You can find it
and look for Last Chance. I guarantee
James Earl Jones and Ben Affleck and some
Okay.
girl. It was good.
Some girl was in it, so
Yeah.
it had that going for it.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know the movie.
I don't know what it's called,
Oh,
but I've read all of Tom Clancy's books. so-
he played the
He played the same character that Baldwin played in like Hunt for Red October.
and Indiana Jones guy.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford
Yeah.
played the character like later.
Clear and Present Danger.
Yeah. He played a couple of them, I think. It was good. Though.
People are fascinated by this. People are probably
And
Googling.
Chris Pine played him too in a remake.
What was that called?
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Wasn't that good?
You're good with the actors. It's the movie titles.
Yeah, I'm never good at
that. Really seem to elude
it's
you.
Tom Clancy, man.
The Cruel Intentions from last week was all over
that was
social
a great
media.
movie, man.
It was. Neither one of us could think of it at the time.
Clearly, our audience knew it right away because they were screaming it at their phones.
Yeah, it's different, when you're recording. It definitely
try to
is.
sit in this chair, remember.
Try to sit in Gibby's shoes.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not good for anybody.
But he started to get really freaked out about the fact that, something else bad was going to happen. He had to be ready for it. Talked about him filling up 2-liter soda bottles with water, storing them under the kitchen sink in his apartment. So I don't know what kind of prepper he was, but he was worried about it.
Sure.
He was doing little things for sure.
Probably got that, the LDS guide to food storage and followed it.
But we have to go back a little bit. So when he's 8 years old, he played King Josiah in a church musical.
Okay.
So he was involved in the church. He was also involved with the Atlanta Boys Choir up until the age of 13, which people are really going to be probably stunned by when they hear him on some of the clips we're going to play. But like I said, he was very heavily involved with the church. He even worked fixing up churches across the state of Georgia. So here's a kid that is doing some good things, right? Early in life. He was introverted. He enjoyed reading, history, adventure books. He loved the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
He was into some Gandalf the Great.
I like Star Wars. I like Lord of the Rings.
It's Gandalf the Grey, isn't it?
But as he starts to get older into high school, you can tell that Stephen McDaniel is not the normal high school kid. People are going to look back at him and say, he talked about historical figures, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. He would tell other kids that he was politically conservative. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, were you talking about that in high school?
No.
I don't even know what I was in high school.
It's like remember Michael J. Fox in that sitcom he did where he was
what was that called?
Super like Republican or something like that, really conservative.
What was that called, Gibbs?
Don't know.
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
I'll save you. I'll save you this time.
Thank you for that.
But when Steven's in high school, it was said that he took PE during summer school just so that he could fully focus on his studies. That is very atypical of the usual high school student, right? You would admit that.
Absolutely.
I liked PE.
Oh, yeah, I excelled in it,
like
man.
Dodgeball, crab soccer, kickball.
If I went on that alone, scholar.
You got a scholarship for PE?
I could. If that's all we had to worry about, you know what? I'd be a Rhodes Scholar.
If there was no academics involved?
I'd be a Rhodes Scholar.
Stephen and his dad, they both enjoyed samurai films. And his father even had a blog online for a period of time where he wrote about samurai films.
Samurai.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Oh, hey, a little Saturday Night Live there.
Yeah, that's old school.
See, I knew that one.
That's old school. McDaniel graduated from high school in 2004, and he actually won a presidential scholarship to attend Mercer, where he majored in business. And when he was in college, very much like high school, he took full course load every semester. He was taking the max credits. I would never do that, Gibbs.
I did that once. It backfired.
That doesn't leave you enough time for partying.
As I found out. Well, it doesn't leave enough time to do your homework and attend your labs.
Oh, yeah.
I did it the reverse way.
I did too much partying.
Yeah, I went to the parties and forgot to show up to the labs the next day.
I did way too much of that.
And now it shows.
It does. But one effect of all of this, right? So the max course load in high school, the max course load in college, it meant that he was so heavily involved in his studies, there was not a lot of time for socializing and making friends. Now, I don't know that this is something Stephen was really good at anyway. His mother would say that he did have some friends, but he was not the type of guy who was going to be the life of the party and was out looking to have a lot of fun. This is a guy that was very straight-laced, not a drinker, not a smoker, didn't take drugs. This is the guy that was going to stay behind when everybody else was out partying to study and not go out to the bars. Basically the opposite of you and I.
Real opposite.
The anti-Gibbs.
Yeah.
And one theory that's been tossed around about why Stephen may have been so focused on education. He had an older sister, and this sister had a criminal record, forgery, theft, and a few other crimes around the Atlanta area. So it's been theorized that he was trying to be very straight-laced. He didn't want to end up like his sister. So after graduating from Mercer University, he applies to Mercer Law School in 2008. And on the application, he called himself level-headed, said that he had a highly competitive personality, talked about how he possessed this inner drive to win in any situation. Now, I know we haven't played any of the clips yet, but when I do play these clips, none of this is going to sound like the guy you're going to hear on the clips. It's just not.
The voice doesn't match the, yeah.
Is that going to be your word for the episode?
What? Yeah.
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 When you get stuck, it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got his business degree, and he put on his application to law school that he was working as a babysitter.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But he's babysitting his nieces and nephews. But at the same time, he's trying to publish a novel. So I think there was some aspects of this guy where, he did have some drive.
Yeah, I'm working on a novel.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember what it's called, though.
No, I know what it's called.
You know the main characters, but you can't remember the name of it.
It's all up in my head. I don't put it on print yet. I'm still working it out.
You don't put it on print?
Well, I don't print it. I don't type it out.
You don't type it?
Yeah. It's up in my head. I'm categorizing it, getting it ready.
Look out, Oprah.
That's right.
Gibby's publishing a novel.
It's going to be called G. Like her stuff's called O.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be G for Gibby.
Is this a
G
novel
magazine.
or is this a whole network?
I'm doing the whole network.
Oh, my goodness.
G network.
Magazine. Your own cable channel.
I'll bet I can say, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car.
You get a K-bar.
You get a K-bar, you get a K-bar. I think I will give K-bars away someday.
Yeah, you better save up some money. You're going to start giving away K-bars. They're not cheap, are they?
Yeah, no, they're not. Especially when you add shipping and handling.
Well, you charge extra for the handling.
Yeah, whatever.
So we got to get back to Stephen, right? He's trying to get into law school, and he talks about on his application that he aspires to be a federal judge, but also puts on there that, quote, I'm not an overly optimistic person. So he gets waitlisted by the law school at first. Eventually they let him in, and he starts to attend Mercer Law June 2008. And he moves into an apartment located just across the street from the School of Law. And he moves next door to a woman by the name of Lauren Giddings. Now, Lauren Giddings was 24 years old at the time. This is a woman, Gibbs, when you read about her, and we do talk a lot about victims, but this is a woman that had it all. She was beautiful. She had an unbelievable inner beauty as well. I mean, this is the way people describe her, right? She was very nice, the type of person that everybody wanted to be around. It was also said that she was very outgoing. So you have Lauren Giddings, the extrovert, in moves Stephen McDaniel next door, the introvert. Pretty much these two were polar opposites. Now, he had asked her to go out with him a few times after moving in. She declined, said no, in what was, by everybody's statements, always a friendly manner, not like, no, get away from me, you jerk, or, really putting the guy down or anything like that. Now, she might have been friendly to him, which I believe she was. But secretly, Gibbs, I think she probably also thought, this guy's a little creepy because, and we'll post his picture, not to say that it tells the whole story, but obviously it matches what we're about ready to talk about. This guy, he had a strange look to him. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah, and if you look like him, I'm sorry, but it's a strange look.
It's a little strange. He had, this is a white guy, probably 5'6", with the afro, 6'8". He almost had like this curly, like amazing bouffant hairdo. I
I'm
don't
just
even
jealous of anybody that has hair on top of their
dude,
head.
I am not jealous of this guy's hair.
I think you are.
It's staggering.
I think you got a crush on the hair.
No, I am jealous of a lot of people's hair, not this guy's. True Crime All the Time is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, folks, therapy can feel like a big investment, but let's think about the state of your mind. It's just as important as your physical health. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up really fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save, on average, up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and time. And you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. I've used the BetterHelp service for years. And I love the fact that, I can connect with a therapist in a comfortable spot in my home on my laptop. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/TCAT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TCATT. Even the smallest step forward can make a big difference in your financial future. When you open a Chime checking account, you're one step closer to a better financial future with no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Making progress has never been easier. I think we've all been in that position where we've had an overdraft. Well, with Chime, you can overdraft up to $200 with no fees. That's amazing. And they have over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make progress towards a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/TCAT. That's chime.com/TCATT. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. MyPay eligibility requirements apply. Credit limits range from $20 to $500. $2 fee applies to get funds instantly. Crime checking account required. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. And this is going to be backed up by other people that lived in the building. They thought McDaniel was strange. Other folks in the apartment complex, they weren't really sure what to make of this guy. He was very shy. He didn't talk a lot. When he did, he would talk about zombies. He was obsessed with zombies. And he would tell people, with this, what they described as some type of crazy look on his face about zombies. He talked about pulling off the perfect murder. Now, how smart is that, Gibbs? Knowing that this guy is a murderer, or he wouldn't be on the show. Why in the hell would you go around telling other people that you think you could pull off the perfect murder? You're planning the perfect murder.
Well, a couple episodes back, we told everybody how we thought we could plan the perfect murder.
I think you did. I said I couldn't get away with it.
Oh, so I guess they got me on tape.
Yeah. You're going down, dude. It's just a matter of time for you.
It's just a matter of time. I've been trying to keep my own time ticking.
All the time. I mean, people went as far as calling him sinister, and that he talked to them about wanting to have power over people. He thought he was smarter than everybody else. That's the other thing that you hear a lot about.
Those
Stephen
are the
McDaniel.
worst, when people think they're smarter than they really are.
Yeah. He thought he was smarter, I think twofold. Number one, he thought he was smarter than what he really was. And then he thought he was smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, that's always a problem. That's why I play the way I do. And then, bam.
So nobody could ever accuse you of thinking that you're smarter than everybody else?
You just, take it down a level, and then they think they know something more than you, and they play right into my web.
How do you make your web?
The little Spider-Man.
Oh, you're killing me.
I weave it.
Weave that web. And then the other thing that people would say later on about Stephen McDaniel is that when he's saying some of these things that people find very odd, he's doing it with this, like an evil grin, like a very creepy smile.
Like the Grinch.
Maybe.
I
know who the Grinch is.
Okay, so make sure. It's an evil
okay.
grin.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
So when he's talking about the perfect murder, he's talking about his obsession of zombies. Again, people found all of this very strange. Now, he had just graduated from law school and he was studying for the bar. He was getting ready to take the exam pretty soon. He was going to be a lawyer. That's the other thing about this. This guy was like steps away from becoming a full-fledged lawyer. Then one day his neighbor, Lauren Giddings, goes missing. Now, at first, I don't think anybody immediately thought anything was terribly wrong. Lauren is studying for the bar as well. And that's a very intensive exam. Requires a lot of study. So I think there were a lot of people that thought, she's just kind of barricaded herself in her house and she's diving in head first studying for this bar exam.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It took you how many times to pass it, Gibbs?
Well, I got the first time.
Oh, did you? But it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
But eventually friends and family, they become worried because they can't get a hold of Lauren. They reach out to the police. We talked about Lauren. She had graduated from Mercer Law School. She was studying for the bar exam. She wanted to work as a defense attorney. And, very similar to Stephen McDaniel, she was going to be taking the bar exam fairly soon, within a matter of weeks. She was going to be moving out of that apartment, moving to Atlanta to begin her law career. So, and we say this, Gibbs, about a lot of victims. She had her whole life ahead of her. She was inches away from becoming an attorney, moving to the big city, ready to take it by storm.
Yeah.
And it's what makes some of these cases, even that much more sad.
Right.
The potential of what would she have done?
Yeah, beautiful, smart, kind. We lost out.
Yeah, she talked
By
about
not having her in this world.
Yeah, she talked about wanting to be a mother. She wanted to have a family. She wanted to have a big family because she had grown up in Baltimore in a fairly large family. Now, I want to play a clip, and this is a clip that we don't get very often because it's actually Stephen McDaniel being interviewed by a reporter as they're searching for Lauren Giddings.
No one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much. She and I were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? What did you see?
She's as nice as can be. Very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because we went over. One of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. The door was locked when everyone got here. We just don't know where she is. I don't know anyone that would want to hurt her. She was as nice a person as there is. Why would anyone do this?
She didn't hear anything?
No. I just heard something. Maybe I could have helped.
Okay, don't worry. Do you want to sit down for a second? Get something to drink? Do you know if a bunch of her friends are getting together or anything?
That's how I found out that she was missing. A bunch of her friends came over yesterday night around midnight, and they hadn't seen her since Saturday, so they were trying to find out where she was.
So they were knocking on neighbors' doors and stuff?
No, they went in. They had a key to her apartment, and they checked around, didn't see anything out of place. It was locked when everyone got there. We got an email this morning from some people that live on the other side of Kroger, on the other side of the river, that they had seen her in the past running in that area. We thought maybe someone had snatched her over there, or maybe she got hurt or something.
So it's not every day where a killer is interviewed about the person that he killed before everybody knows what's happened. Now, the one thing that really struck me about that, Gibbs, is they're in the middle. He goes full blown Academy Award crying.
He does, man.
But within one breath, he's totally back to normal. She asks him like one question and the tears are gone. And
I think he wanted, like after that, he really wanted to do is go, superstar. Because he just pulled off the ultimate, what he thought in his head was the scene.
Well, what you don't hear, I mean, this thing is very long. They interviewed him for like 11 or 12 minutes. The part that I left out was the reporter tells Stephen McDaniel that a body's been found. And of course, he's shocked. He freaks out even more. This body would end up being the remains of Lauren Giddings, found in a trash can. Her torso had been dumped in this garbage can right next to the apartment building where she lived, where Stephen McDaniel lived. And it was extremely lucky that they actually found her remains on the day that they did, because the trash was scheduled to be picked up that day. So you talk about timing, and if they miss that and it's picked up, maybe this story doesn't go down the way it goes.
Yeah, maybe not.
You never know.
He's a talker.
But her arms, head, and legs, they've never been found. They only found her torso. So they do air the interview. Not in its entirety, but like what they would do on a newscast. But later that night, he actually goes to jail on some totally unrelated burglary charge. It has something to do with stealing a condom from a neighbor's apartment.
Stealing a condom.
That he's probably not going to be able to use.
It doesn't look like he'd ever need to be using it.
Well,
but I'm glad he is using it because he shouldn't produce.
Well, he will later say that he's a virgin. So I don't know why in the hell he's stealing a condom.
Maybe he doesn't know what they're used for.
I don't know. But this happened months earlier, and it just happened to be that I guess they figured out it was him. But because of this, the reporter knows that he, ends up going to jail and apparently makes a comment to a coworker that, hey, maybe I just interviewed the murderer. Because again, she's seeing what we heard, and even more so if you can actually see it, his face, his body language, all that. But eventually he is going to be suspected of the murder of Lauren. And it doesn't take police very long into their investigation until they start to hone in on him. Because number one, he's a neighbor. They're going to look at neighbors, and they question Stephen. And I have some of that audio of his interrogation, and I have to play it because I want everybody to think back to what he sounded like on the newscast to what you're about ready to hear.
Look, just tell me what happened, brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I'm a detective, and I'm asking you for your help.
I don't know.
You don't know if you can help me?
Yes.
I need your help. Help me out. Tell me what to do. Can you help me?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You can't help a friend out?
I don't know what you need.
I need to know where Lauren's at.
I don't know.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Have you ever seen anybody over her house the last couple nights?
No.
Okay. If you knew where she was, would you tell me?
Yes.
What do you think happened to her?
I don't know.
Do you even care that no one can find her?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, do you?
Yes.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Did you think Lauren was your girlfriend?
No.
I mean, the guy sounds like George McFly from Back to the Future. So that was like the first part of the interrogation, right? The police officer, detective, being pretty nice to Stephen. But they're going to take a turn.
You don't know.
No.
That's what you want me to tell her mother and her father, is that you don't know.
I don't know.
Not that you're sorry that she's missing. Not that you've been trying to help me all day find her, but you just wanted me to tell her I don't know.
I don't know.
Are you
where
a
she
sorry
is.
piece of shit that you want me to tell her that? You got your ass on that fucking news and stood out there and gave a media report that her mother saw about her missing daughter. And you want me to sit there and tell him that you don't know. You sure stood out there and ran your mouth to the news media. But now you're gonna get out here and you don't fucking know. You know. You're just a sorry piece of shit that don't give a fuck. So this little act that you're doing right now ain't working with me. Okay? Because you didn't have no problem talking to the media.
So I said it started to turn, and it does turn.
I like it.
I like it too. I love this dude's accent, by the way, from down in Georgia. You sorry piece of shit.
I like it.
I do too. He's going after him. But then another detective comes in.
Steven, we're telling way too many lies in here.
So you're telling me they're lying?
You're willing to tell me that you're a virgin and that you told me you jack off to porn on the internet, but you don't want to admit to having another car? That makes me think you got something to hide, Steven. That concerns me. You tell me things that most people wouldn't tell somebody else, but yet you lie about something simple.
Why are you
about
trying to
having
hide
another
that
car.
you have another car? What's the big deal?
I don't have.
I got 3 cars.
You do. You do.
No, I don't.
It's not at your
What
house.
happened to it?
I've never had another car.
That's the only car you ever had in Macon.
Yes.
Okay, let me go talk to him again, because that's not what he's saying.
What happened to Lauren?
I don't
Yep.
know.
You like her, don't you?
She's my friend.
Did you ever think about having sex with her?
No.
You never tried to talk to her on a dating level? See that pretty girl right there?
Yes.
You telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good. You never thought that?
I don't understand.
What do you mean you don't understand? So you mean to tell me you look at porn on the internet and get off to that, but you never looked at her and said, man, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with her?
Yes.
You have?
No.
I mean, this guy is, it's something else.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know, probably hundreds of times in this interview.
He says, I don't know as many times as I say, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very strange thing if you and these are just snippets, right? These are snippets from a very, very long interview. It's almost uncomfortable to watch the way that he just, I don't even know how to describe it, Gibbs. He is just so emotionless.
It's kind of reminds me, on a different level, but it reminds me of the old Saturday Night skit, they're sweaty balls, where they're all so monotone.
Yeah. I don't know if sweaty balls correlates exactly to the interview of Steve McDaniels, but I think I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. There's a method to my thought pattern there.
Because he really is just this, it's almost like a robot. There's no intonation in his voice. There's no emotion. It's just, I don't know.
Let's do the next 5 minutes like that.
I don't know.
See how people quickly turn off the podcast.
They could just listen to the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Might be
that's
about
probably how
the
we
same
were.
thing.
Yeah.
True Crime All the Time is brought to you by Rockstar Games and LA Noire, the dark detective crime thriller set among the violence, glamour, and corruption of 1940s Los Angeles. Out now for Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PS4, LA Noire allows you to scour crime scenes, pick up and examine objects, interrogate witnesses, and determine who is telling the truth or lying to cover up a brutal murder. Solve crimes inspired by real cases from one of LA's most violent decades. LA Noire from Rockstar Games. Out now. Rated M for mature. Order now at rockstargames.com/LA Noire. You know, my wife and I do a lot of shopping online, and we always use Rakuten. Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. We're talking fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Macy's, Nike, Sephora, Dyson, and Lowe's. And that's just to name a few. Pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cashback. Cashback is deposited directly into your PayPal account, or Rakuten can send you a check. You can even maximize your savings by stacking cash back on top of other deals, like store sales and coupons. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It really is a no-brainer. Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up. So he's really not telling the police anything in this interview. All he's saying is, no, I don't know. Mostly, I don't know. And they're getting frustrated. And like I said, it's almost, I feel bad for these detectives. I mean, they're going after him. They start off kind of nice. Then one guy goes bad cop. Then another guy comes in. He goes bad cop too. But they can't break him, even though they're on to him.
Have you lied to me at all in this interview?
No.
Yes, you have, Stephen. When you say you don't know when the last time you cleaned your bathroom is, that's a lie. When you say you don't know the last time you saw her coming in and out of her apartment, or you don't notice whether or not she comes in and out, that's another lie. Your door's only a few feet from hers. You've told some lies in this interview, Stephen. Without a doubt. When was the last time you did laundry?
A few weeks ago.
You ain't washed clothes in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Why?
I have a lot of clothes.
No, you don't. That's another lie. That's right. That's 3 lies, Stephen. You don't have a lot of clothes.
Yes, I do.
No. You got enough underwear to last you 3 weeks?
Yes.
Do you wear the same pair of underwear more than one day?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's still clean enough to wear.
So he's definitely on the Gibby plan.
Hey, now.
This one's still clean enough to wear.
Is that what it is? Like you with the sniff test?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sniff test. Not with underwear though, dude. You got to change your drawers every single day.
I ain't wear underwear, man.
You go commando?
I just go commando. I just put it out there. I don't.
I don't know if I'd say it that way, but
hey, I like my boxers, man.
I'm with you on that.
My boxer briefs, man.
Not your I don't like your boxers.
Well, they wouldn't fit you
I like
anyway.
my own boxers.
You'd have too much room if you wore mine.
Too much room in the crotchular region. Is
Yeah.
that what you're trying to say?
That's what I said.
You son of a bitch.
I know
you.
it, man. Well, I am older. My nuts hang down lower.
Do your balls hang low? Can you tie them in a bow?
No bow yet, but
I forget the rest of that song, but it's pretty funny. Something about, can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, I've been in a gym before where the old guy puts his leg up, and you think he probably could.
Oh, it's like that scene from Billy Madison. They're talking about that. Those young kids are like, did you see those guys' balls? Man, they looked weird. So they're grilling Stephen McDaniel. we gotta steer this back to the interrogation. There's a lot of ball talk today. They're grilling him. They can't break him, other than to get him to confess that he wears his underwear way too many times before he washes them.
Who needs starch when you do that?
But he's not confessing to the murder of Lauren Giddings. You heard the detective say that at one point in the interrogation, Stephen did say he was a virgin. And we go back to this burglary of the condom. And they ask him about it. But again, he's like, I don't know. Everything is, I don't know with this guy. But he's in jail on this burglary. And he stays there for about a month until they actually charge him with the murder of Lauren Giddings.
So they keep him in the jail, sweat him down, and start building their case.
Yeah, and they get a search warrant.
Sure.
Which was major. They were going to see what they could find in his apartment. And they do find things. And they actually find a lot of things. So they found a wad of hair.
A wad of hair?
A wad of hair is the way it was described. You know, they seized laptop, camera, cell phone, normal, all that type of stuff. There were some receipts. And one in particular was from Walmart, dated June 23rd, 2011. 2 keys. And if you go back to the interview or the interrogation, you know, part of it, you probably heard parts of it, but they talked about having 2 cars. They were asking him this a lot because there were people that knew him that said he had this one car, like a Geo Prism, that he drove a lot, but then they had been seeing him drive around in another car. But he denied having more than one car. They also asked him a lot about which Walmart he shops at. So they already had some knowledge even going into this interrogation. They found his journal. They found a foam cup with the name Lauren written on it. A thumb drive that had child pornography on it.
So he's got kitty porn. He's got a styrofoam cup with her name on it that who knows what he did with that.
Yeah. They're able to look through his search history.
Scary shit there.
Always clear your search history.
I do.
Even though I don't know if it's ever really cleared.
I don't think so.
From people that know what they're doing. But in searching his, they determined that he's pretty much cyber stalking Lauren Giddings before her death. So these are just some of the things that they found in his search history. Nude Lauren Giddings. They could tell that he was going through her Twitter feed. He searched molest sleeping girl in a number of different variations. None of this looking good for Stephen McDaniel.
No.
Now, he visited a lot of porn sites, which you heard he actually pretty much offered that up to the detective. The detective was kind of blown away that he just was telling him that stuff.
Was he a member of the same ones you belong to?
I don't know. I didn't have a list of all of them. So.
Yeah.
But dating sites, escorts on Backpage.
What's Backpage?
Whatever, I was going to say, whatever that is. I don't know what that is.
I think you probably know.
That might be some dark web type stuff or something. I don't know.
Actually, I think Backpage is kind of like Craigslist, but like
for sex.
Well, or just all different types of
sex,
illegal activities.
Really?
I think so.
I like when you use the word "I think."
Yeah.
As if anybody's buying that.
That I think.
That you think. You're probably more sure about that than any of your movies that you've talked about in this episode. You know, he was constantly Googling her name, looking at her Amazon wish list.
Amazon wish list?
I mean, that's like a deep cut cyber stalking.
I mean, someone can go and look at my Amazon wish list?
I don't know. It would just be like K-bar, 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 K-bar.
Yeah.
Knife oil.
That's right.
Knife sheath.
You got it, man.
Fine chamois to rub it down.
I like a fine chamois when I'm rubbing it down.
I think that came out a little wrong.
Maybe it came out just right.
Maybe it did. But again, he was looking at all kinds of different photo sharing sites. He was just looking for pictures of her. I mean, this is stalking. He is not cyber stalking, but it's stalking. He's obsessed with her.
Yeah, sadly.
You know, they were able to determine that on June 8th. He looked at her LinkedIn page, Googled her name, looked at her Facebook page. This is a lot of different places that he's trying to keep up with her on the same day.
Definitely fascinated by her.
No, fascinated, obsessed.
Yeah, fixated.
Fixated, that's a good word. The other thing that they figured out is on the day that her body was found, when Lauren Giddings' body was found, he actually searched on ways to permanently erase his search history. So you got a lot of things not looking good here, right, for Steve McDaniel.
You wonder why people do this. If that's their concern, why don't they just pick up that little laptop, walk it out to the river, and throw it in? Well,
for a guy that graduated college, graduated law school, I don't know how smart this guy was.
He's not too smart because he's breaking every rule, like even like the basic rule of Fight Club, right? You never talk about
about Fight Club.
He's talking about how he knew her and all that kind of stuff to the news reporter.
Yeah, I don't think, well, for somebody that talked about trying to get away with the perfect murder, I don't think the guy was that smart.
No.
A couple other search terms that came up: escape prison, choked unconscious, how long wake up? That sounds like one of your sentences.
It's pretty crystal clear.
Crystal clear. And one thing that really, really caused the police to take notice was a search that he did looking up this burglar bar that Lauren had. And you heard him talk about it in the very first clip with the reporter. So she had one of those bars that you wedged it up against the doorknob that was supposed to keep people from busting in on you.
Yeah, they work all right, but there's ways around them.
Well, he did a search. He knew she had it, So the fact that he's searching about how to get around it,
Right.
that's not good. They said that he visited sites about necrophilia. He looked something up, Gibbs, called gynophagia,
Gynophagia.
which is some type of sex fetish that centers around seeing someone eaten. Like seeing someone else eat someone, I guess. I don't know.
So like, he wants to jack off to someone eating another human flesh?
I guess.
So he's
Like a cannibal, not you being a cannibal, watching somebody else be a cannibal.
so this is why he was in the zombies. He's probably jacking off to Walking Dead.
He's out there. He is
Yeah.
definitely out there.
Okay. Sorry for that.
The graphic nature of that?
Yeah, but yeah.
Hey. So they charged him. He pled not guilty at first. The judge gave him like a $2.5 million bond. So, they have all this evidence. They're pretty sure they're not letting this guy out to run off.
Right.
But there's going to be even more evidence that comes out against him. So the police would find a balled up pair of underwear in a drawer in Stephen McDaniel's home. And when they tested that underwear, they did find DNA belonging to Lauren Giddings. They found a master key to the whole apartment complex and a key specifically to Lauren's apartment in his bedroom. So not only did he have he had a key that could get into every apartment,
Yeah.
somehow he had a key that matched her apartment as well.
So he was definitely going in there and visiting when she wasn't home.
He was doing a lot of things. They found a large bloody sheet in a washing machine of the laundry room of the apartment building. And then they found a hacksaw. And the hacksaw still had human flesh on it, dried blood, and this was locked in the closet of this laundry room. So again, how smart is this guy?
Well, he's not. He's a dumbass.
I mean, you're going to leave a bloody sheet. You're going to leave a hacksaw in the building that you both lived in.
There's a lot of people that are what I call book smart and street dumb.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of people like that. A lot.
There's a lot of people that are the other way around. Very street smart. Can't remember the name of movies, though, and things like that.
Yeah, but
it's a condition. It's called Gibbyitis or something like that.
Yeah, better have that than have the other one.
It's very, very rare.
Yeah, it's good shit.
And it's not contagious. So I've been told.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to catch it.
You had to think about that one for a minute, didn't you?
I did.
So on top of finding this hacksaw, they find the packaging for the saw inside his apartment.
Yeah,
He didn't even throw that away.
not surprised.
So because of all this, right? I mean, they've got him. There's no doubt about it. Stephen McDaniel ends up accepting a plea deal to plead guilty, but he would avoid the death penalty. And if he did that, he had to come clean. He had to be honest about what happened to Lauren on the day she was killed. Now, one thing we haven't talked about, we mentioned that he had these master keys, and I'm sure he was going into her apartment when he knew she wasn't there. The other thing that he was doing, he had a video camera, and he had a rig. I don't know if it was on a stick or it was like a 6-foot pole, I think it was. And he had it rigged so that he could hold it up to her window. You can actually see this video. It's online. There's no reason for me to play it because there's no sound. But this is how sick this guy is. He would just stand underneath her window and just hold it up just to check to see what he could see, take it back to his apartment, do a little snap and giggle, and then depending on what I guess he found on the videotape.
A little snap and giggle.
I just
He's
don't.
definitely fascinated by her.
No, and he's fascinating to me because I can't even get in this cat's head. That's how far out there he is to me.
He's definitely a strange brew.
That's a good movie, by the way.
Strange
for
brew?
our Canadian listeners.
Canadian.
Take off, eh?
Take off. Great White North.
You hoser.
Hoser. So if you do live in an apartment,
Yes.
this is not rare that there's one or multiple people that have a master key. If you want to know if people are coming in unannounced, get some toothpicks. When you leave, jam that little toothpick up in the corner because they're not going to see it. They're not going to hear it when it hits the ground. But when you get home, you look up that corner, if that toothpick ain't there, you know someone's been inside.
In the corner of what? The door?
Yeah, where the door meets the frame.
Oh,
Just jab it up in there. Yep.
that's really smart. Talk about street smarts.
Yeah, but that's how you know, because you come home and you look up and that's not there. Somebody came in.
I don't know whether to be in awe of your street smarts or a tiny bit frightened by the fact that this is something that you may look for as you're doing certain things that you may do.
Could be.
Or not do.
Could be. Plus, I own stock in a toothpick company, so.
So he would say to police when he came clean that now one of the reasons he was using the video camera was to get a look at this bar, this door jam bar, whatever you call it.
Sure.
To see how it worked. And he did come clean about the fact that he had been in her apartment before. He had stolen a flash drive that contained a bunch of pictures of her. And then we get to the part where he has to describe in detail what he did to Lauren. So what Stephen McDaniel would say was that 4:30 a.m., June 26, 2011, he put on a mask. He used the master key to get into her house.
Stephen McDaniel is a psychopath who cowardly allowed darkness and evil to consume him. He should never be permitted to prowl the streets of this world again.
That is the voice of Karen Giddings, the mother of Lauren Giddings, the Mercer Law grad who was killed almost 3 years ago. Just a week before jury selection was expected to start, Stephen McDaniel pleaded guilty to malice murder this morning.
As part of his plea deal, McDaniel will serve life in prison, and he had to write out exactly how he killed Giddings. Here's part of that confession. It was 4:30 a.m. on Sunday, June 26th. Stephen McDaniel says he entered Lauren Giddings' Barrister's Hall apartment with a master key from the complex, wearing gloves and a mask. She woke up, told him to get out, and that's when he says he leapt on the bed, grabbed her throat, and began choking her. Some of her last known words, according to McDaniel, "Stephen, please stop." McDaniel strangled her to death and dragged her lifeless body into the bathtub. I returned to Lauren's apartment around midnight Sunday to begin to dismember her with the hacksaw that was later recovered from the laundry room maintenance closet. I removed her limbs and head, wrapped them in several black trash bags separately, and discarded them in the Mercer Law School dumpster across the street from Barrister's Hall Apartments. He writes he put her wrapped up torso in the garbage can at the apartment complex early in the morning on June 28th. McDaniel said he never sexually accosted Giddings before or after he killed her. In fact, from his statement, his motive is still unclear. McDaniel wrote he joined the search party late Wednesday night, still in a dreamlike, delusional state in which I believed at the time, while taking part in the search, that Lauren was still alive and that I had not done what I had done, even searching the empty law school in a delusional hope of finding Lauren alive and well, as if I had not really killed her. To this day, McDaniel says, I am not delusional or without morals or decency, but says something in his makeup must explain what he did.
Well, no shit. So he says he doesn't lack morals or decency, but yet he killed a 24-year-old woman, hacked her up, dismembered her, and threw her in a trash can like garbage.
Yeah, he's something.
All that bullshit about being in a delusional state and searching for her body and thinking that he hadn't killed her. I don't buy none of that.
I don't either. He's just a little weak dude.
So they went through the confession. Now, there was more to it. You know, he talked about the fact that he had done online research on how to disarm that burglar bar. He was watching Lauren sleep in her bedroom. And at some point, the floor creaked. And that's when Lauren sat up, looked at him, and allegedly said the words, "Get the fuck out."
She probably knew it was him right away because of that hair.
Dude, he had a very distinctive hair.
Yeah. You can't put that in a mask.
And that's when he lunged across the bed, strangled her. Now, they talked about him dragging her body into the bathtub, but he doesn't dismember her right then. He just goes home and spends most of the day on his computer. And it wasn't until later that night when he went back to the apartment, had his hacksaw, and he dismembered Lauren. The other thing that he said was that he cut up the mask, the gloves, and the shirt that he'd been wearing, and he flushed them down the toilet. Now, I really found it hard to believe, Gibbs, that he did not sexually assault her. I mean, we talked about it. This was a man that was obsessed with this woman.
Yeah, it was his fascination with her. I mean, I have a hard time believing that as well.
And he was a self-confessed virgin, but the autopsy would come back and it would back that up.
Yeah, well, that was just the torso. They never found the head.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's all they had to work with. And because that's all they found, they ruled Lauren Giddings' death due to unknown homicidal violence. And another thing that kind of does back it up, him saying that he didn't sexually assault her, aside from the coroner's report or the autopsy, apparently she was wearing pink running shorts when she died. And Stephen McDaniel said, I never removed them. And her torso was found with these pink running shorts still on. I just find it very odd.
I would say he probably took a peek.
Because I just want to get this out. If there was no sexual motive to this, why'd he kill her? Because she spurned him a couple of times? Because she wouldn't go out with him? I mean, he's obsessed with her. I get that. But if you kill that, then
I don't think he went in there to kill her. I think he went in didn't think she was going to wake up, and that he'd come in and sit there and stare at her. She wakes up and she knows it's him. So now his cover's blown and he reacts.
Well, and he had a lot of fetishes. I mean, we already know that.
Yeah.
I mean, by his search histories I find it very hard to believe. Now, after Stephen McDaniel murdered Lauren Giddings, he said he couldn't sleep. He was basically on his computer night and day. He skipped class the next day on June 27th, but he did attend classes the next couple days after that. He helped in the search for Lauren, claiming that he was almost like in a dreamlike state.
No, there's just a lot of criminals that like to be on scene, especially if they find anything. I mean that's just known. That's why the police, when they investigate, right, they hang out at the funeral. They hang out at the crime scene. They're not only looking at the crime scene, they're looking to see who's at the crime scene.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's why I just don't buy it. I don't buy some of this stuff that he says. But in his confession, he said, and this is a quote, that he was divided in mind, unable to account for how I could have committed these horrible acts. I know it was very wrong. And he would express remorse after the fact for what he did, saying, if I could take back what happened, I would. And apparently he cried in jail.
You mean when Bubba took care of him?
Yeah.
He ought to be crying.
I don't know if that happened, but it was said that he cried like a baby in jail the whole time.
Yeah, so everything he said is what some intelligent person would say.
You mean after the fact?
After the fact.
Sure.
So he's trying to say the right thing. He thinks he's trying to sound sincere and be sincere. He's not sincere. He's saying what he knows needs to be said for the fact just to say it.
Now, we talked about he was very, very close to becoming an attorney. All he had to do was pass the bar.
Yeah.
So he actually aided in his own defense.
Of course he did. They always do.
And his defense attorney would come out and say, you know what, if this hadn't happened, I think he would have been a pretty good lawyer.
He'd make a fine attorney.
That's what he said.
Yeah. That's what I'd say too if I was there. He'd make a fine attorney.
We have to talk about Lauren's family because they had to deal with all of this.
I can't imagine. My heart goes out to them.
Knowing what happened to their daughter. There's a lot of families that never get to find out what happened to their loved one.
Right.
And that's kind of sad. It really is. But then think about Lauren's family. They got to find out, but they found out every minute detail.
Yeah.
And some of these details, they were horrifying. Well, and then you have the fact that he didn't actually go to trial. You know, he pled guilty, but he plea bargained to get out from underneath the death penalty. I don't know if Lauren's family believed in the death penalty or not. But if they did, then that was possibly a sore spot for them as well, knowing that he wasn't going to get that ultimate
I'm sure
sentence.
they went to them and talked to him about it.
I always thought they did, but in a lot of these cases that we've been researching or on some of the documentaries and stuff, you find out that they don't always do that.
None of the documentaries, but
documentaries.
Yeah, but they did on that movie with Gerard Butler. Remember that one?
Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah,
yeah. My daughter and I just watched it.
That was a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I would have did the same thing he did, man.
And you'd have been really good at it too.
I did.
That's what scares me about you. That's why I really try not to cross you in any way that would.
I'd have that shit be planned out.
Sever our friendship in a way where we couldn't get it back.
You grab that microphone right there, thinking you're just moving it, and puffer fish venom going right into you.
But you did hear Lauren's mother speak a little bit in that very last clip. She would say that the family would be scarred forever by the sheer exquisite pain of missing her. So McDaniel gets life in prison in 2014, but he'll actually be eligible for parole in 2041. Now, I don't think, Gibbs, that he would ever get paroled.
I wouldn't.
The crime is just too brutal.
But you never know.
But you never know. That is out there. That exists for the family, right? So they, maybe not right now, but at some point in time, some of those family members still alive are going to have to relive this in a different way. They're going to have to stand up and say why he shouldn't be let out. And
well, if he gets out, come see me, boy, so I can slap you.
We're going that route now?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring it on.
I'd actually pay money to see that.
Whoa, man, it'd be good. I wouldn't have to hit him. I'd just slap him and he'd be down.
Would you put your wine cooler down before you did, or?
No, I'd go ahead and just,
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
And I don't think this won't surprise you at all, Gibbs. I know it doesn't. But as of August 2016, according to the Macon Telegraph, McDaniel fired all of his attorneys. He's now decided to be his own lawyer.
Oh, pro se.
He sent out a handwritten motion to say that he was going to do this on his own and appeal his case.
Sure.
He sent letters to his original defense team requesting all the documents and materials related to his case. And apparently they did. They started to send him some files and copies of certain things, but he's come out and said that they haven't complied with they haven't sent him everything. Of course. What else is he going to say?
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to think about it all.
I don't like this guy at all.
I'm sure our legal system will pay for a lot of stuff that he'll be doing while he's sitting in there.
It will. Unfortunately. I mean, again, we could talk legal system all day long. It's got its good and bad points.
Yeah, you're never going to have a perfect system.
But he's going through all this effort to get a new trial. I don't know on what grounds. I don't know what grounds he's going to find to get a new trial. I mean, he confessed. The confession was very detailed.
Right.
He did it. Everybody knows he did it. I don't think cases like this normally get new trial. There's going to have to be something that comes up that, and we've seen it. It would have to be some huge bombshell where the state withheld evidence, or I guess if anything, maybe he could argue whether his plea was voluntary or, his lawyers didn't do enough. Under duress. They were banging his head off the table.
Right.
Which in most cases I would say is wrong. With this guy, I don't feel like that. I'd be okay with it.
What they need to do is just get, a thing of oranges, put them in a pillowcase and beat them with that. See, then it's not going to show up the way that you would.
Or almost like a code red. Just putting bars of soap in there.
Or code red. Yeah. From A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men. He got it.
Nailed it.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
I guess this is one that we'll have to keep our eye on. If something comes up, I don't imagine it will, but if something comes up, we'll definitely
call us, man. Give us a call.
Talk about it.
Sign a waiver, and I will slap you.
Sign a waiver. So
he's an attorney. He's gonna pro se. He's gonna sue me. So if I get a waiver signed, I'm good.
I'm sure that's something he would do. All right, Gibbs, we got some voicemails, so let's play those.
Hi. Mike and Gibby. This is Gabriella. I'm calling from Sweden. I've been binging your podcast now for the last 2-3 weeks. It's amazing. I thank you so much for letting me know about crimes in the US. I've been listening to loads of voicemails around Sweden and Europe, and then I finally found yours. So that's wicked. If you're ever going to do any crime around Sweden, because we do have some interesting cases around here, horrible and interesting cases, just give us a shout. Okay, take care. Bye for now. Bye.
Kind of like a voicemail from Sweden.
I know. What a wicked voicemail, man.
And the use of the word wicked. I love it.
Yeah, she makes it sound really good.
We're actually very big in Sweden. I'm not sure why.
In Norway.
In Norway. The Scandinavian countries, they like their true crime.
They do. They really do. It's cold up there.
They eat it up.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Hi, Mike and Gibby. This is Tamara calling you from Atlanta, Georgia. Just want to let you guys know how much I enjoy the podcast. I look forward to it every Sunday when I know that a new episode or new episodes are about to drop, and I know I can listen to them on Mondays at my job. Luckily, I have a job that will allow me to do that. So far, I think one of the most interesting cases that has stood out in my mind, and of course, there's so many of them, and I've enjoyed every single one of them, but the one that stands out in my mind is the one about Oba Chandler. And just what he did to that family, the 2 daughters and the mother, it just makes me sick to my stomach. And it actually kind of hits home a little bit with me. Not that anything like that has ever happened to me or anyone in my family, but it's because I have an older sister that's 2 years older than me. And it kind of reminds me of me and my sister a little bit in a weird way. Anyway, enjoy the podcast. Keep up the good work. You have also inspired me to listen to other podcasts. I now listen to the Martinis and Murder podcast. I'm loving it. Look forward to those as well. But I am a little partial to Mike and Gibby. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Stay safe and keep your own time ticking. Thanks.
Keep your own time ticking, Gibbs.
Yeah. How about that? Atlanta voicemail on a podcast we did about Atlanta.
I was going to say, she's probably going to find this one interesting. But, she mentioned Oba Chandler.
Yeah, what a freak and what he did out in
that was
out in the
rough.
water there. Man.
And it's interesting to hear her talk about, nothing, even remotely close to that has ever happened. But you can tell that people, so she has an older sister, a couple of years older than her.
You can hear the stress in her voice when she's almost, I'm going to say choked up, but she.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it. I can hear the stress in her voice.
Yeah, I think people, they can listen to these cases and you can, I don't want to say put yourself in that position, but I do think people could say, I've been in situations where maybe something like that could have happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that what you think? That sometimes people can put?
Yeah, I think they can see them in that, or they had something similar in their life that, man, that could have been me,
Or, last week there was a very strange guy and he kept looking at me in the grocery store. He followed me out. We hear stories from people like that all the time.
I do that just for fun.
Yeah, we'll stop doing that and there won't be so many people feeling like it.
Freaking people up. That was a great voicemail, Tamara.
No, it was, Tamara. Appreciate it very much. All right, so that is it for the case of Stephen McDaniel. I really dislike this guy. I can't say it enough. So it's another episode of True Crime All the Time. Now, don't forget, no episode next week. We'll be back with a brand new episode, relaxed, refreshed, in 2 weeks. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Have a good time, folks.
Enjoy your family, enjoy the food.
Or don't enjoy your family, but enjoy the food.
Or just enjoy the food. For those of us in the States. For those of you outside the States, just have a great week.
Eat some comfort food, and that's it.
So for Mike
and Gibby,
stay safe and keep your own time ticking. Man, That Law-Abiding Citizen really was a good movie, dude. I love that.
It was a good flick. I like how it freaked you out when it started because of how they bust into the house and he's got to sit there and watch his daughter and wife go through what they went through.
Yeah, that's the part I had to make my daughter close her eyes on that. She's not squeamish about some of the violence. She knows it's make-believe. But that first part,
it was pretty
I don't like her
pretty
seeing
intense.
I don't like her seeing stuff like that. She
Yeah.
watches all the Saw movies. She doesn't have a problem with any of that.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie for sure. So, what's your top 3 true crime movies?
Yeah, true crime doesn't have to be real, right?
No.
So number 1, I have to go Seven. I love Seven.
Slevin? Is that Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
And
you can do it.
I know it.
You can do
it's the Seven Deadly Sins, right?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Oh, is that the one with what's in the box?
Yes.
What's
How
in
can
the
you
box?
not know that? You say
What's
it
in
all the
box?
time.
I like that movie, man. That's good.
I'm telling you, how can you know so much about movies except for the title and sometimes who's in them?
I get that one, the title of that one, and hit the other one like he did something like the Seven Monkeys or the Monkeys or the, you know what I'm talking about?
The
Brad
one with
Pitt?
Bruce Willis?
Was Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis in it together?
Like Seven Monkeys, I think it's called, or something like that. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I get them kind of, you know.
They're nothing like each other, I don't
Well,
think.
just the names sound familiar.
Just because Brad Pitt's in it, or?
Well, that too, probably.
All right, so I'll go Seven, and then I will go. Man, I got to put Zodiac in there. I really like Zodiac. Now that's real true crime.
Oh yeah.
Based on a real story.
Jake Gyllenhaal or Jake, what you know what I'm talking about?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I do like his sister,
Maggie.
Yeah, she was in that movie, The Secretary. Talk about a psycho. The dude in that movie,
No, I'll have to
played by
watch it.
James Spader.
Oh, James Spader's a great psycho.
Yeah, it's he's got this really weird fetish, and she plays to the fetish.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's the
You gotta stop like late at night, like just sitting up watching Cinemax.
Yeah. So on the Zodiac,
Yeah.
you got Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
I know there's like 2 other famous people.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh yeah, Mark Ruffalo. He plays the
Cop.
the other cop.
And then probably Downey Jr. is the most famous.
Yeah, he probably is. So what's Iron Man doing in it, man?
Yeah. He's probably the most famous.
Yeah.
I love that movie. There's something about it. It's long. It's like 2.5 hours long.
I was
but
going to say, wasn't that a long flick?
it's very long. Maybe 2:45. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
it just draws me in. If it's on, I just have to watch it. I mean, part of it's because I like the story of the Zodiac, but part of it's just I just think it's a great movie.
So what's your third?
Let's go. Man, I do really like that Law-Abiding Citizen. I'm trying to think of.
That's because you just seen it, so that's why
Yeah.
it's fresh in your head.
Do I get to count The Godfather as true crime? There's a lot of crime in there.
Well, that's my top 3. I just
Okay.
go the
I was gonna
Godfather
go.
trilogy.
No, number 2 by far is the best for me.
Yeah.
Number 3 you can just have. I don't care about.
Man, I enjoy. Yeah,
Yeah.
three really.
1
was
and
pretty
2
bad.
are great, but I actually like 2 the best. I mean, that's the one with De Niro and they go back.
Yeah, I think you go 2-1 and then flip over to Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Toss that in.
Oh
you know?
man, see that's my problem. I can't think of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goodfellas has to be in there.
So your number 3 is what?
I don't know. Now you're stealing some good ones, man. I was going to say Godfather.
You were
Part 2.
Part 2.
Part duh.
Part the. So then, what is the worst crime flick? True crime, not true crime, but just crime flick you ever seen?
Howard the Duck.
Was that a?
Wasn't he like a private investigator or something? I don't even remember.
I wouldn't even watch a movie called Howard the Duck.
It's called.
What
Yeah.
were you even watching it for?
It's like one of the worst movies ever made.
Howard the Duck. You actually watched that?
Yeah, back in the day, I think I did. I could be totally wrong. It may be about something totally different.
What, Johnny Dangerously. Remember that?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Gonna hang him on a hook. My mother hung me on a hook one time.
I guess that wouldn't be the worst one.
No, I like that.
It was pretty funny when Michael, what's his name?
Keaton.
Keaton. Yeah.
Michael, what's his name?
What's his name?
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
I'm not gonna use The Godfather because you had that one. I'm gonna go Private Eyes.
Private Eyes.
And this is like a pretty obscure movie.
Yeah.
But it had Tim Conway.
Tim Conway?
Yep.
You know about the funny Tim
Yep.
Conway?
Tim Conway And
Carol Burnett, Tim Conway.
Yeah, Carol Burnett, Tim Conway.
Okay.
And it had, I think it was Don Knotts.
This is supposed to be funny.
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was thinking crime, like it'd be,
No, it's about a murder.
Okay. Well, I like Don Knotts and
Not many people have seen it. It's like I said, it's old. It's like probably early 80s.
You know what the best Don Knotts movie ever was?
What?
I don't know what it's called. But
shocker.
He was on like I don't know. I don't remember it all really well, but it was really good.
This is going to be a good story.
But he somehow he was just playing his normal character. He was on like a Navy ship or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like falls into the water and he turns into a fish. But then it turns like animated.
Or you mean animated?
Animated.
You said animated.
Oh, animated? No, animated.
Don Knotts turns into a fish.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it a Disney movie?
It might be.
Because he was in some
I don't think
Disney
it's McHale's
movies.
Navy.
No.
But he turns into like this. It was a great flick, man.
I think you literally have just made that up.
No. I wasn't doing acid or anything. It was good.
Well, your childhood may have been a little different than mine. I don't know. What year are we talking about? 70s?
I don't remember. I was young. It was good. If I ever catch it on, I'm like, yeah, that was good. I like watching it.
I've never. I think
he saves. He likes because he's in the water. Fish. He keeps a war from happening.
That sounds like a great plot, man.
Yeah.
Great plot.
Yeah, I'll tell you a good. We'll finish your Private Eye one.
What about it? That was
That's it.
Tim Conway, Don Knotts.
Yeah,
they work for Scotland Yard.
Yeah,
this real rich guy in a big mansion is murdered.
Is ghosts involved?
No, I don't think so. Well, kind of. They're called in to investigate because they're bumbling idiots.
I think I've seen this.
It's very good. I like it.
Yeah, you would.
It's dumb, but it's good. But I like dumb movies. I love Naked Gun, Blazing Saddles, Airplane. I love all those.
Yeah, I like some of those too.
Don Knotts is a fish.
I'm telling you, man, he was.
Nah, I think he kind of went off the rails there. I don't know.
Somebody we know should be able to know this.
Well, you know who will know is Google.
You should Google it.
You IMDb Don Knotts.
Oh yeah, IMDb. Yeah, that's good shit right there, man.
You said IDMB.
I don't know. IDB.
I like those movies that are animated.
I like animated movies and animated.
Oh shit, Gibbs! I forgot to turn the recording off. So this whole time we've been talking.
Huh?
Oh, hell, I'll just leave it in.
Well, trying to think of what I said.
You didn't say anything bad, did you?
No.
Except for that stupid Don Knotts.
That's a good. So there you go. So you play it. If you leave this in, somebody will know what that Don Knotts movie is.
You just said Dom.
Not Don Knotts movie.
Dom Knotts.
Yeah. So if he plays this and you hear this, peeps, let him know.
If I keep it in.
If you keep it in. You probably Google it after this and find it. And you're like, well, shit, he's right. So I'm not going to put it out there because.
No, I'm not saying it's not a movie. I'm just messing with you. It sounds like something made up. It sounds horrible.
Yeah. So real fast then,
Since I'm going to keep it in now, maybe
if you do, what's your all-time number one movie, any genre? Or
did you just say John Ray?
Yeah, that's John.
Is that like your next door neighbor,
Yeah, John Ray?
Billy Bob, John Ray.
Then Billy Bob's on the other side. John Ray's on the left.
Oh man,
my left.
I only get one movie.
One. If I said man. And I'd say it like that.
That's how you say it.
Tomorrow's your last day. You can see one movie.
Why does it have to be my last day? I mean, you can't just put me on an island with a VCR with one or a DVD player with one DVD.
As we take you out to the island that has no power, no electronics, you can watch one last movie on your trip to the island.
But you go.
But it can't be Castaway.
It's like my last day on Earth. I'm gonna die.
I don't want to say you're gonna die. This will be your last day.
I can just watch one movie.
One flick.
So if I only get to pick one movie, I think I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction. Love me some Pulp Fiction.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
Get me a Royale.
I actually watched it on the plane the other day when I was flying to Chicago.
Did you really?
Yeah. You know, Netflix has that thing where you can download them.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it ahead of time.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. I like Pulp Fiction. What would yours be? Because you're going to die. For some reason, we have to die the next day. So you only get one movie.
I like Cool Hand Luke.
You're going to go Cool Hand Luke. Huh?
Yeah. I've always liked that movie. I always have. Luke, you know? It's just good. The mom comes and visits him, and she's got the bed made up in the back of the pickup truck. And yeah, you never seen it. He goes.
I've seen it, dude, but it's been so long ago. I don't even remember.
He eats all those like 50 eggs in one bet. He's got to eat 50 hard-boiled eggs. He does it. Yeah, he's got. They're all sitting out, and you got the warden's girlfriend or niece or somebody comes by and washes the car, doing the famous car wash scene. You know,
does she wash it too, or
she washed
she
it
just
and
washed
it? Depending on what part of the country you're from.
She washed it up north, drove it down south, and then washed it.
That's right.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna finally hit the button since I forgot to.
Hit the button.
At the turn of the 20th century, rapid industrialization, urbanization, and political corruption were ravaging America. But soon, President Theodore Roosevelt and a diverse group of reformers known as progressives would fight back. Hi, I'm Lindsey Graham, the host of Wondery's podcast, American History Tellers. We take you to the events, times, and people that shaped America and Americans, our values, our struggles, and our dreams. In our latest series, we explore the Progressive Era, which came to be defined by Teddy Roosevelt and others who believed in a strong, active government that worked on behalf of all Americans rather than the privileged few. As the United States entered the 20th century, these progressives hoped to steer the nation in a bold new direction, to launch an era of reform to restore power to the people. Follow American History Tellers on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Experience all episodes ad-free and be the first to binge the newest season only on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Start your free trial today.